We have a nautical swashbuckling battle 20 years in the making. Busy day of ECU athletics here in Greenville. The Charleston Southern Buccaneers come to town, taking on the East Carolina Pirates. Second game of the day, and a chance to be an exciting one here at Minges Coliseum. We welcome you courtside with the Liberty Flames legend, Brittany Hoyt. I'm Evan Budrovich. East Carolina forces the 7th most turnovers of any team in the country. Charleston Southern, they've had trouble with turnovers. So how important will handling the basketball be today?
Well, East Carolina really forces their offense from their defense. So Charleston Southern today is going to have to value every single possession, take care of the basketball, and that happens with ball reversals, ball fakes, and really making sure that they box out and rebound. Charleston
Southern led by a guard-oriented lineup. Two guards that have scored a ton this year, Shemaya Lay and Catherine Albin. How do these two play well for Charleston Southern?
Well, both of these guards specifically, they just got to take care of the basketball, and they need to make sure that they value possessions. As I mentioned earlier, turnovers have been kind of the issue for the Buccaneers in their first few games. So making sure that they get a shot every single possession, take care of the basketball is going to be huge for this group.
East Carolina is led by a freshman standout, Jayla Herp, and her last effort, 5 triples, developing into a great player.
She really is, and Kim McNeil had high expectations for the freshman coming in, and she had an amazing game on Wednesday in the big overtime win. But as you can see, her stroke is beautiful. She can catch and shoot so well. She's moving very well without the basketball. She has a really high IQ, Evan, and again, highly recruited out of high school, coming from Hampton, so has played a lot of really good basketball, and the team just comes alive and rallying with her and her 17-point game on Wednesday.
Jayla comes off the bench today, but she was critical in that overtime win on Wednesday against High Point. Now the East Carolina Panthers take on another Big South Conference foe, the Charleston Southern Buccaneers. And right away on the opening tip, 5 seconds into the game and a shot, Kim McNeil wants to push the pace today. Nearly a turnover. Charleston Southern commits 27 turnovers a game. And that'll be important against an ECU team that forces 25 a night.
They really do. And the Pirates have done a great job of applying so much pressure. So Charleston Southern, good ball reversals, ball fakes, and there's a turnover.
There's your first of the night. ECU in transition. Nice job to rip that ball back. Zaire Hicks with the steal. Buccaneers have one win in their opener against a non-Division I foe. 3 straight losses against tough opponents, including George Mason earlier this week. And a traveling violation.
East Carolina, they're known for their defense. It's something that Kim McNeil has preached for years and years, but this year she said that they're focusing more on their offense and trying to get many different players going offensively and get a lot of players in double-digit scoring.
Including Alexia Rose and Danae McNeil, who each had double figures on Wednesday. There's a starting 5 for Kim McNeil. Building this program up, year 4, wanting to break some expectations, picked in the bottom half of the AAC. But with this 3-1 start, they have been really balanced. The Buccaneers led by Clarice Garcia in her second season. Rough year last year in the Big South, but do return 2 starters in Lay and Hicks. As here's a steal. Look at the speed of Rose in transition.
Rose doing a great job jumping the passing lane. This defense does a great job of getting touches. And that's what they've done well, and Rose for a bucket.
And Kim McNeil said pregame, we have to force turnovers. Well, here's an example, being aggressive, making those plays.
They really do. They do it so well, and it's just buying into the system. And again, this Pirate team is so active.
Kennedy Jackson faces a double team. Now an open shot for Bezos, who can't hit. No relation to Jeff, that's Alba Bezos. If she was, I don't think she'd be playing basketball, that's for
right.
Sure. There's an open 3 and knocked down Danae McNeil from the corner.
Danae McNeil, the transfer from Clemson. She is on the scoreboard this season so far for the Pirates and doing a great job leading the team.
3-pointers have been her struggle, 20% coming in. That's an added bonus for a 15-point-a-game scorer. Here's a steal for McNeil. Goes from a triple to the bucket and free throws. Anytime a senior guard can take that huge jump from one year to the next, that's such a big boost for a program.
It really is, and obviously the Pirates losing their leading scorer last year, and I think the biggest thing is who's going to step up and who's going to be those extra scorers. And Danae McNeil obviously last year even hurt and broke her hand, I believe, and wasn't able to finish the season. So what a great return for her, and she has the freedom, the green light. Kim McNeil is just confident that she can lead this team in scoring.
A 6-0 start for her Pirates. They're off to their best start in 4 years, 5-0 back in 2018. Here's the question for Charleston Southern. They've fallen behind by double figures in every game this year. Can they avoid a slow start? The pressure is on, and a steal. ECU in transition with Mosley to the bucket with the roll. So 6 quick transition points.
I'm telling you, and it's come from turnovers. Charleston Southern has got to calm down, get some ball reversals, and get a clean shot in that half-court offense.
This pressure defense for East Carolina, 25 turnovers forced tonight. That's 7th best in the country right now behind West Virginia. Jackson with position. Look at this scramble for the ball. That's a shot clock violation. How does Charleston Southern get into its offense? It's taken a while to get moving.
It really is, and that's what's so difficult with the matchup zone, right? Because it's played like a zone, but it's really played like a matchup man. And again, I just think that you have to penetrate, kick, and be aggressive. And I think that that's something that Charleston Southern is just going to have to be very precise and get a good shot opportunity and rebound.
Great drive by Rose, who goes to her left hand. One note with Rose this week about body language, and Kim McNeil said you have to play confident with your body language, good or bad. We're seeing that more tonight. Yeah,
and it starts with the point guard, right? Because when someone's having a bad shot or a bad couple possessions, the point guard's like the quarterback. And Kim McNeil wants her to have that role and to grow in that, and she has seen a lot of improvement in Rose.
How about 5 turnovers forced in the first 5 minutes? More plays in transition. And an offensive board, McNeil who puts it home.
Great job, McNeil, staying close to the rim. Being available for that offensive rebound. The Pirates have really been in transition for the last 4.5 minutes. Great job getting that and one.
Carly Andrews checks in, the Auburn, Alabama product. Could be a fun week in that household with Auburn, Alabama coming up on the gridiron. Alabama not out of the playoff picture just yet. Got some help.
No, they're not.
Clemson could sneak back in. My USC Trojans looked good last night.
They did.
I stayed up till midnight to watch the end of that game.
I did not.
You value sleep. That's important.
I barely made it through the South Carolina game.
That place was rocking in Greenville yesterday. Here in Greenville, North Carolina.
That's right.
Another steal for McNeil. Now this is like playing Parks and Rec basketball, forcing a timeout for Clarice Garcia. We'll take the timeout here in Greenville. ECU up a couple of touchdowns and an extra point on ESPN+.
Here we going to the top now, that we never ever stop now. Here we going to the top now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Kyle. Hey, yes. I was gonna say, yeah. So the series is weird because they've only played once. And it honestly was a game where, like, I can't even find the stats from it. It was 20 years ago now. This is more fun. I like this. Any fun segments you got? And yo-ho, yo-ho, it's a Pirates life for me. How about this matchup? Second ever meeting, Charleston Southern and East Carolina. You have to date back to '96 when Seton Hall and ECU played.
You were just a baby.
Go back to 2000 when the Buccaneers and the Pirates played. This should be played on a naval cruise ship somewhere out there.
Oh, that would be so fun. I'll be there.
Yeah, it is kind of neat how these teams and logos all match up. Very one-sided in ECU's favor tonight and back in 2000. Just need Jack Sparrow to officiate, and then we're really set. For the Pirates and the Buccaneers, Big South and the American Athletic Conference. Both teams picked near the bottom of their respective leagues, although we've seen a much better start for ECU this year. Good ball moving out of the timeout, and an open triple for Catherine Albin.
Great job being ready to catch and shoot. That is something that the Buccaneers are going to have to do to be successful moving forward. Be ready to catch and shoot when they get an open pass.
That's the 30th three-pointer for CSU. That's been a big part of the offense for Coach Garcia, a former point guard in her tenure, and a foul here. That's Carly Andrews reaching in. Charleston Southern's played a gauntlet of a schedule in the first 2 weeks, with Duke and George Mason, one of the favorites in their respective leagues. Doesn't get much easier. South Carolina coming up, Clemson on the schedule. Learned by fire. Good finger roll, but it comes up short. Affected by Sanaya Jones, the Duluth, Georgia product.
What do you think, too, with this non-conference, if you will, season? It's only going to make them better as they go into Big South play and just be more competitive.
Look at that fight for the boards. And with a foul underneath on ECU. That's a reach in on Morgan Mosley. Tough matchup. Sanaya Jones, that's a big body at 6'4".
She really is, and Morgan Mosley plays bigger than what she is. She's a tough, high IQ player. Right now playing the 5 with a 4-guard lineup.
ECU's forced 7 turnovers early. Now an 8th. Here's Jayla Herp. We noted the freshman off her season-high performance. Nice dish. Leads to a triple.
In transition again off a turnover. Danae McNeil with the big 3.
ECU forces 25 turnovers a game. And that's Kim McNeil's MO. She wants to force mistakes to get open shots like that.
She really does, and in that transition is huge. And she wants her team to continue to get better in that secondary as well.
Another turnover leads to Rose in transition. It's a running of the Bulls here in Greenville, North Carolina. You ever been to that event in Spain? Running of the Bulls?
I have not. Have you?
You know, it's a great view on Instagram if you ever want to scroll late at night for some fun videos. As that goes out of bounds, Pirate basketball. It's like the gauntlet of Charleston Southern's non-conference schedule. Number 1, South Carolina, league favorite in the SoCon ETSU, and Clemson all in 1 week.
Wow.
Coach Clarice Garcia not afraid to test her young program.
Not at all. And again, in that non-conference, they're just getting, what a great experience they're getting and playing against such high-level teams and in great conferences.
Your first look at Micah Dennis bringing the basketball up. Oklahoma State transfer. Kim McNeil very high on her playmaking ability, not just her shooting. We saw that on Wednesday, a couple of threes. Now Jenkins swings it out that way. Nice pass to an open shooter. Coach Garcia loves her 4-guard lineup, wants to spread the court against this ECU defense. Leads to an open shot. Good offensive board. And free throws coming up for Carly Andrews.
Great ball movement. That just came from really passing the ball around the perimeter, top side, as we used to call it. And again, crashing the boards. That's what's going to keep this feisty team in this thing.
That's one area that teams in the past have had success against East Carolina, shooting the three. And if you move the ball effectively without turning it over, it does lead to some open looks.
It really does. And I think that's one of the things for East Carolina. It's a very aggressive defense. So just be ready to catch and shoot when you're wide open is a key for sure.
Open three-pointer. Got to be careful if you're Charleston Southern. Offensive board. There's Joyner battling around. And there's the first big impact play for Amaya Joyner, back after the flu. She'd been out the last week, basically 2 games. Also battled a COVID bout early this year, so good to see her back on the court as a first-year player.
Absolutely. She's just had a tough, really last couple weeks. She's battling a lot of sicknesses, and Kim McNeil's happy to have her back, and she'll definitely be working through endurance as she gets her stamina back.
A late foul called on the drive by Jasmine Jackson. Micah Dennis called for the foul. That's her first. Or sorry, Bobby Smith, her first. One thing Charleston Southern has done well this year is get to the free throw line, 50 attempts. Now making those shots after that one goes in, 58%. So it's up and down. Although crazy enough, the winner of the Big South last year, Campbell, shot 64% from the line.
Wow.
Not the best free throw shooting team or league.
Yeah.
That matter. Longwood Lancers won the tournament title. Their head coach, Rebecca Tillett, took a job at St. Louis. Opened the doors for some new league favorites, including High Point, that ECU just saw on Wednesday here at home. Right. Chelsea Banbury wants that three-point oriented offense. That was a neat game on Wednesday.
Lethal.
Overtime, three-point thriller. Dennis on the switch. Good kick out. Look at this fight for the boards. Joyner can't hit. We have a loose scrum and it stays here.
Great battle inside. Joyner getting tough with the basketball.
They call her My, and she said, that ball's mine.
Yes, just couldn't get it to go, but way to be aggressive getting that offensive board.
Now some good pressure from the Buccaneers defensively. Leads to a turnover.
That's something that the Pirates are going to have to continue to improve and work on too, is them taking care of the basketball and being tough with the ball.
Albin gets the floater, and Catherine's averaging 9 points a game. It's a big bench score for the Buccaneers.
She really is, and almost 6 rebounds per game as well. So very active as a freshman guard from Atlanta.
Coach Garcia said at Big South Media Day, we hope Albin's our starting point guard come January, but it's a growing process in that first 2 months.
It really is, and she'll continue to get that game experience and just get, you know, a higher basketball IQ the next few months learning her system as well.
Because Charleston Southern must replace a starting point guard, Alessia Faye, who scored 10 a game last year, as this fight for the boards goes out of bounds. That's like an Amazon truck in December. Whole bunch of substitutes coming off the bench.
They showing up at your house?
Oh my gosh, I have ordered like 8 packages. Jenna, my girlfriend, literally buys things every week. I mean, it's great. It decorates the house. It makes it look good for Feast Week coming up in college basketball.
That's right.
We have more decorations than one knows what to do with.
Oh, I love it.
Final 40 seconds of this first quarter. ECU, one of its last 8 shooting the basketball. Here's Sania Johnson. Good drive by McNeil, and she's stripped. Nice ball pressure from Jackson.
Jackson doing a great job. Again, applying pressure. Danae McNeil kind of helter-skelter. She couldn't get her pull-up jumper off. Great defense.
That's 3 straight turnovers forced by Charleston Southern. And they give it right back. Here's Mosley going right to the bucket, but can't hit. A lot of good looks for the Pirates. Oh boy, watch out. Wanting a timeout, and a jump ball gives possession to ECU. And I believe a player on the ground could call timeout.
Yes, if you have possession of basketball, yes.
You could kind of read lips there, and Dennis was trying to say timeout, but she couldn't point it.
Yep.
Nonetheless, ECU possession. Step back 3. We head to the second quarter here in Greenville. So ECU started on a 15-0 run, but Charleston Southern, they've come storming back. Plenty of triples early here in Greenville. We'll have more basketball after this. As a full-time starter in 2022, number 22, Danae McNeil's having a great start to her season. How about that performance on Wednesday? And she continues that tonight with 12 quick points.
She had a great second half against High Point on Wednesday. She is just so athletic, and again, she has the green light. And I think one of the big things Kim McNeil told us that in the offseason, she wanted to breathe confidence into her guards and really get them going offensively, and to know that she is for them, shooting when they are wide open, get ready to catch and shoot. So again, Danae McNeil had a hot start to the year.
Look at that steal, but she threw it in no man's land. Morgan Moser there throws it out of bounds. This game feels like sending your kid to the arcade, right? You're trying to keep them in control. It's helter-skelter everywhere. And I don't know how, if you're Charleston Southern, you slow the game down to avoid those mistakes.
It is, it's true. And I think it comes from slowing down mentally, right? Because they're trying to speed you up, speed you up, speed you up. And they've just got to slow the game down, try to play at their tempo as much as they can.
12 first quarter turnovers for the Buccaneers, who led the Big South in giveaways last year, so it's a bad combo as that goes out of bounds. Zaire Hicks is the grad transfer senior at UT Martin that was hoping to be the main ball carrier to bring it up the court. See her number 12 fighting for space as that jump ball's tipped. What a friendly bounce. And a great spin as there's a foul drawn. Madison Adamson draws the foul. And she's laughing about it after the play.
She did a great job using the ball fake and got a foul from it.
You notice ECU sort of committing, so Charleston Southern's trying to pass the ball around. Another turnover. Here's Johnson. And Sania's blocked, but a foul. Shemaya lay there just a bit late.
Sania Johnson has improved every single year in this program, is just so active and aggressive, really, on both sides of the ball.
Oh, captain, my captain as well.
That's right.
And Johnson goes 1 of 2. She averaged 8 points a game early in her first 4. ECU has been offensive minded this year. And that was a great point you made earlier, Brittany, because if this East Carolina team is going to break its 11th place preseason pick, they have to score more. They can't win games 50-40 every night.
They have to, and getting more people in double-digit numbers as well has been a key emphasis for Kim McNeil. And again, that starts with her guard play. She is heavy guard focused, and Jayla Herb's been a big help for them last game. We'll see who else can get it going as well.
Look at that putback, Morgan Mosley.
Mosley been a great spark, obviously starter right now, but it's been coming off the bench. She is just solid for her team.
Alexia Rose poked it loose. Nice dime for Mosley, but that's an offensive foul. Adamson there to draw the charge. If I'm Clarice Garcia, this is a breaking point for my team. 8:42 left. I can ill afford a 10-0 run given up to East Carolina.
Not at all, and again, what she has to do with her group right now is, again, just take care of the basketball and just work to get some half-court execution happen. They're not able to give it into their half-court because they can't even break the press.
Oh, almost over and back. A 40-point loss for the Buccaneers in their last game against George Mason. Nice pass here with the reversal. Zaire Hicks, the English.
That's one way to break that matchup zone. Nice ball fake. Great aggressive drive to the rim.
Leads to an open 3 that comes up short. East Carolina hasn't been able to hit their shots in the second quarter. Both teams at 34%. Lay kicks it out. And the moon ball 3 is a bit short. Alexia Rose with her eyes on the basket. Nice dump down. Wow, that's a point blank miss, but an offensive board. Good slip in, and Chambers banks it in.
Great pass from Rose. Finding Chambers inside. Chambers holding off, holding her position, and a great finish.
93rd career game for Tiara Chambers, and a timeout, Charleston Southern. We'll take the media here in the second quarter. East Carolina, oh wait, sorry, I got ahead of myself. 10-second violation. I hear whistles and I think media
close,
timeouts immediately. The inner producer in me gets in my head from time to time.
Alexia Rose with a great pass. Tiara Chambers, the captain.
Give credit to our East Carolina production crew today. Volleyball and women's basketball. They flip the whole court, get the cables all rewired, set up the pro tables, and a nice dump down. Good passing to Isis Adams.
Great execution there. Isis Adams with the easy layup.
Think about the points in the paint for East Carolina. They have dominated 16 of them. That goes out of bounds.
They have, and again, most of that from transition. And Look at points off turnovers as well, and they have done very well out of their defense.
I don't care who you're playing. 16 turnovers and a half? That's really good defense.
Yes.
Nice pass by Rose. Chance for a board, and it's stripped away. Look at this outlet, but over the head of Andrews. That is one way to break a press. Find the leaking receiver.
That's right.
Go to a Tagovailoa and chuck it downfield. Hope someone can catch it.
Rim running is what we used to do. Just run to the rim.
Brittany, I see him more as a cherry picker than a rim runner, if I had to guess.
That's right.
Alongside former Liberty standout coach and player Brittany Hoyt, I'm Evan Budrovich. Breaking down the zone. One thing we have seen in the second quarter, Charleston Southern is not giving up transition points, and it's challenging ECU to work the ball around.
It is, and they're making them earn their points in that half-court set. So they're having to work inside or penetrate off the bounce, and they're going to make them work in that half-court offense.
So Jayla Herp enters the game. Nice play to Rose in the corner. ECU is 2 of 10 from 3. Tori Gittens, the captain, on the assignment defensively. Oh, that bunny just missed. Look at the speed of Albin. Step through, switching hands for the lay-in.
Great job from Albin, going straight to the rim. Fowler finish, and she got the finish.
That was a beautiful play.
That was.
A rare point in transition for the Buccaneers that have given the ball away like candy on Halloween. It's another miss for the Pirates.
Pirates have had so many opportunities just left unfinished at the rim, but again, they are active in the paint. Just couldn't finish that one.
That's a rare mistake in the second quarter. 18 turnovers for the Buccaneers. They had 12 of those in the first quarter. And a traveling. Now we'll take a media timeout. East Carolina forcing turnovers at nauseum tonight. Meanwhile, how about this layup in transition to send us to break?
I'm the one that's what they call me now. Yeah, bet you wanna know this idea so fresh. Walking with my head high, pockets
What a growth for Alexia Rose, the guard who has nearly doubled her scoring from last year to this season, including back-to-back game in double figures, becoming a reliable scoring option for the Pirates.
She really is. Kim McNeil said that last year they kind of butted heads a little bit, if you will, and this year that they have trust in one another, and what more can you ask between a point guard and head coach relationship? And she is much improved, has matured so much, and she's kind of settling into her role as a guard on this team.
And let's not forget, Kim McNeil was a guard at Richmond for the Spiders.
Right.
They speak the same language. They're
That's
trying
right.
to work on the same page. And Brittany, you've coached many in your tenure. It's that second year with a player. You see that big growth from 1 to 2.
You really do, and then she just has that buy-in and the leadership that she wants to lead this team and to lead on the court, and she has that.
Her defense has been a menace defensively. Nearly 20 turnovers forced. And a reach and foul here. And with all that defensive pressure, ECU doesn't commit many fouls. They don't put themselves in the bonus a ton.
They really don't, and to have this defensive system, you have to be disciplined, right? And you have to be able to have those active hands and kind of wreak that havoc, and they do that very well.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Here's a deep three. Nice board by Tiara Chambers. ECU with the much larger lineup, Joyner and Chambers down low. Could lead to some open shots. Oh, that was a forced pass by Micah Dennis.
Again, these guards are trying to create something, and against that zone pressure, kind of difficult. She wanted Chambers to kind of slip to the ball, but just a bad read.
There's Tori Gittens. There's a great three-point shooter. 50 career triples for the Buccaneers. Can't get open, though. Here's a steal. Rose literally took it away. And that's nice and easy on a Sunday afternoon.
Creating offense from defense, that's what they do well. And another bucket.
God, Rose is like a cockroach.
She
She's
is.
everywhere around you. You can't get rid of them. Quickly in your pocket, takes your extra scraps.
Yep.
Points in transition for ease tonight. As we have a jump ball, possession ECU. Okay, Bernie, big picture. Not every opponent will turn the ball over like Charleston Southern. How does East Carolina translate this success to the likes of Liberty and Virginia next week?
Correct, and they'll have to continue that as they're playing some great opponents next weekend in that tournament. What they're going to have to do is on both sides of the ball. They're doing this very, very well, but as a team gets back defensively, can they transition into their secondary? Can they transition into their half-court offense? Because that's what we saw against Wake Forest a couple weeks ago. The half-court sets, their half-court execution, how is that going to be? Because future teams are going to recover. They're going to defensively get back on defense. So what can they do versus UVA and versus a Liberty next weekend?
Chambers in great position, elects to pass. Herb couldn't hit the layup. I will say, Charleston Southern is struggling to score, but the defense has been much improved in this quarter.
It really has. Definitely a turn from the first quarter. They have settled in. They're contesting shots and they're rebounding. And again, that's why it's only a 16-point game right now instead of a 25-30-point game.
Because when opponents like South Florida, Central Florida come to town, two of the elite teams in the AAC, but how will this translate, right? Because you can beat up on Big South teams to a point,
Correct.
but then you get to the heavier competitions. There's a foul. That's Joyner with her first. It's tough to translate that success every night. You're not going to force 20 turnovers again.
Correct, and teams in the American Athletic Conference are going to take better care of the basketball. So how are they going to be able to settle in? And then that comes to how are East Carolina, how are they taking care of the basketball? Where it comes to looking at the rebounding, looking at that column as well. And those are some of the details. Who's going to be scoring for East Carolina? Those are some of the things that are going to have to get fine-tuned moving forward.
Charleston Southern is 2 of 5 from the free throw line. They want to stop a 4-minute scoring drought. And Andrews answers the call. It's a different pace when you play a Ken McNeil program. They love to force turnovers. Now on the offensive end, when things slow down, how does it operate? As Herb gets an offensive board. Rose flips it up. Another chance for the Pirates. Bobby Smith came out with it.
Great job with their offensive rebounding, getting another opportunity for a shot attempt.
Tough floater, bounces away. Chambers had it poked loose, and a tetherball tap goes out to Charleston Southern.
Again, you got to give it to Charleston Southern. Good defense. Obviously, a lot of more offensive rebounds than we probably wanted to, but again, they got to stop.
Here's the drive from Andrews. Good kick. Yeah, that's a shot you got to hit. Down 15. Adamson a bit short. Rose nearly lost it. Open three. Wow, those are good looks for East Carolina. Ken McNeil's got to be happy. Those are nice shots.
It is. I think it's a little tough, though, when you look at the three-point lineup right now, 2 for 12. So may want to kind of yield a little bit on the threes in transition and work the ball around.
There's a three. Zaire Hicks. She's returning from that knee injury this year. Full-time starter, hitting the triple. This game started 15-0. I wouldn't have expected it to be so close here in the second quarter.
Charleston Southern has fought and maintained and done pretty well.
Tough miss for Chambers. Now Andrews in transition. That's a big one. Here comes Rose. Herb forces one up and she gets fouled. Man, the style of play is helter-skelter.
It is very helter-skelter, and I think on both sides of the ball, really, and the Pirates have been struggling the last few minutes. 0 for the last 6. 1 for the last 11 that they've made a field goal, and really struggling to finish in the paint and at the rim.
So the true freshman has been good at the free throw line this year. 4 of 6 makes her first. That breaks a 3-minute scoring drought for East Carolina.
Yes, they needed that.
If the Buccaneers are smart, work the clock, look for one final shot to end this half.
Great job breaking that press.
Open three instead, and why not? Back-to-back for Andrews.
That's some good execution right there to close out that first half.
Charleston Southern living by the 3. Trez triples in the first half. Rose kicks it out. 2 on the clock. That rolls away. And a nice end to the half for the Charleston Southern Buccaneers. Not over just yet. 11-point game, Brittany. Pretty competitive second quarter.
It really was. Danae McNeil obviously couldn't finish. The Pirates didn't have the best second quarter, but up 11 going into the second half.
Hello and welcome into the American Studios. I'm Morgan Uber. The top two teams in men's soccer met on the pitch over the weekend, as did the top two teams in American football, and we've got the top two plays from those games. But first, we start at number 5 with men's hoops. Eastern Kentucky at Cincinnati. Bearcats up 16 under a minute to go. A steal and a shifty behind-the-back pass by Victor Locke into David DeJulius. The 6'11 forward fighting to the finish of this one. And Cincy wins, starting the season 3-0. In American men's soccer championship action at number 4, FIU up 1-0 in the first half with a set-piece opportunity here. Off the head of Carlos Sheckham into David Garcia, putting a whole new meaning right here on double header, giving these fans something to cheer for. And that insurance goal went on to seal it. The number 1 seed Panthers win their first American tournament championship in their first season in the conference. At number 3, to the gridiron we go. East Carolina at Cincy. Pirates looking to close the gap here and look no further than the Holt Naylor, CJ Johnson, Conley high connection. 72 yards to the house for Johnson. On 3rd and 7, Johnson makes the grab and stiff arms his way all the way to the end zone. No one can bring this guy down, but the Pirates drop a close one, 27-25. Coming in at number 2, the top two teams in American football. Number 22, UCF at number 17, Tulane. Here in the first quarter, UCF QB John Rice Plumlee doing it all himself, showing track speed. After a week out from injury, looking as strong as ever, taking it 67 yards. Plumlee finishes with 176 yards rushing in this game. Unbelievable. Number 10 hits the hole, giving his team the 10-point lead early, and the Knights charged on to give Tulane its first conference loss of the season, 38-31. Coming in at number 1, more football conference play. We've got Temple at Houston. Cougs down 1, 48 seconds left to play. It's 2nd and 7. QB Clayton Tune drops back, looking deep, and airs one out down the middle of the field to Matthew Golden. Golden Supermans his way flying into the end zone. Tune leads his receiver perfectly, and that is the game-winning TD. Houston escapes 43-36. We've got a special bonus play for you this week. It's Tulane Athletic Director Troy Dannon back to the basket from half court, and it's good. Dannon, he's got that shooter's touch and a very impressive half-court shot indeed. Remember, if you see a top play happen live, you can let us know on social media using the hashtag #AmericanTopPlays and tweet at the American Conference at American_conf. Keep it right here on ESPN+. Stay tuned. We'll have much more right after this.
Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Closer game than some expected early on. Charleston Southern with a nice second quarter, matching ECU punch for punch. And Brittany, let's dive into those first half highlights, because one thing East Con has done really well is force turnovers and at least the easy transition buckets.
They've done a great job defensively, jumping the passing lane, getting their hands on balls, just being aggressive. And they have done a lot from their defense.
Buccaneers, though, came back 3 triples, 22 giveaways as well. It's kind of give and take, right? Ooh.
Morgan Mosley with the great finish in transition. Danae McNeil had a great first half with 12 points. That beautiful finish at the rim from Albin.
Yeah, Albin and Andrews have been a nice combo. 12 points for Charleston Southern. Not the greatest shooting display today, but ECU's attacked the paint and CSU's hit their shots from outside.
They have. They did a lot better in that second quarter, kind of really holding their own and taking that open shot. That's what I said earlier. Anytime that you have a great ball reversal and you're wide open, you've got to get an open shot, and really they did that in the second quarter.
There's your first half numbers. I think the big number 2 is the turnovers as well. We'll dive into that in the second half. 21 giveaways for Charleston Southern, and yet they're only down 11. We'll have more for the second half when we return. Welcome back to Minji's Coliseum. 11-point game at halftime. We noted the turnovers coming in, but both these teams have had nice guards stepping up and making plays.
They really have on both sides. Obviously, we knew coming into this game, Danae McNeil was obviously kind of highlighted, had a great few games leading into this, but Charleston Southern, again, kind of been up for grabs of their guard play, whether it be Albin or Shemaya Lay, but Albin has done a great job of kind of maintaining her own, helping her team stay in this game.
So Albin had 8 points in her last game, and here today, 7 quick points, but some nice plays too, setting up her offense.
She really has. She's been aggressive. She is shooting when open. She made that wide open 3 in the corner, and that was good half-court execution by Charleston Southern as well. As you see her right there, breaking that matchup zone, which is so good going off the bounce, and then that amazing layup that she had, finishing with that left hand.
You know it's a good night when all the plays get put in the halftime package.
That's right.
There's a lot to show in the first 20 minutes for Albin. First-year starter for Charleston Southern, true freshman too. One of 6 freshmen for this Buccaneer team. ECU led with a little more experience. Danae McNeil, the senior, has stepped up and hit shots.
Danae McNeil did a great job. Again, making some of those open shots, but staying active, staying near the rim. It's always good things happen every time you're around the rim. Obviously, jumping those passing lanes. She's so long and athletic is one of her strengths. And then again in transition, made that big-time 3 for her team.
Danae McNeil asked to become an elite scorer in the AAC. Well, 15 points a game certainly helps. And maybe not the greatest shooting night for Danae, but being more aggressive, making herself present.
Yeah, and I think for her too, it's continuing to get her confidence up as well, and responding, right? If I've missed my last 2 threes, maybe mixing it up, going off the bounce. She has the versatility and the ability to take it off the bounce and to be aggressive with her pull-up, create off the bounce. So her game is well-versed. She's just got to get in rhythm, get in sync, and wow, 12 points is a pretty good first half.
Gearing up for the second half, and here's the challenge now for Clarice Garcia's club. You see ECU so dominant, forcing turnovers. You know, that first quarter, it got 15-0 quick, but ever since, we've seen a better version of Charleston Southern, and that's the version ECU wants to get back to in this third quarter.
Yeah, what's crazy, Evan, is that it was actually even scoring in the second quarter, 11-11. So they played pretty evenly in that second quarter. So what's the second half going to look like? Are the Pirates going to be able to step it up defensively, obviously, but offensively? Can they finish at the rim and extend this lead?
Garcia, the former recruiting coordinator at Auburn, made a couple NCAA tournaments. And now she builds her own program from the ground up. Jeff Barber, the AD, former Liberty athletic director, giving her the keys to the kingdom. Building a ton of culture in Charleston. Maybe not the results yet, but it takes a while.
Great location. And again,
you ever been to Summer House down there?
I have not.
Oh, yeah, it's a great TV show on Bravo. Long story for you. The Winter House season just launched this week.
Oh, goodness.
Contested bucket and free throws for Morgan Mosley. We've noted the points in the paint for ECU. That's a big emphasis in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. They had just a lot of little bunnies kind of left at the rim, and some little opportunities, you know. It's just Kim McNeil was frustrated with some of those points left out there on the floor in that first half. So finishing, being a little just more detail-oriented in this second half is definitely a point of emphasis.
Second free throw coming up for Mosley. ECU's been good at the free throw line this year. 61% as that one rolls in.
She'll take it.
I don't know why the rims are so unkind today. It is weird, right? Like one game, every shot's going in.
Who did that? Who put those rims up?
And this game, it's been hard fought to get points. Now the pressure's on and a 10-second violation.
That full court pressure is no joke. And again, you got to have a little bit of a sense of urgency and advance the basketball to beat that three-quarter court pressure.
22 turnovers forced by ECU. That's on pace. They average 25 a night. Leads to a nice layup underneath and free throws for Tiara Chambers. It's not as if ECU's getting bad looks. When they learn to make the layups, it's going to be a tough offense to stop.
It really is. And what's so hard too is these are the things that are going to be clipped in film, right? All the missed layups and all the things. So tomorrow when they have their film session and just working on finishing. And when I was in college, we used to just get beat up by the pads and really work on some of those details, but they're right there. They are right there.
Getting to the free throw line a ton today. Attempts 10 and 11 for ECU. No team got to the free throw line more last year than Iowa, 88% for Caitlin Clark and company, top 5 team in the country. Did you see some of the top 10 games today? South Carolina beat Stanford in Palo Alto. And then UConn, with Aaliyah Andrews and crew, took down NC State this afternoon.
What great games of basketball today, and obviously a lot of volleyball games earlier as well.
And you think about the top 10 matchups. Women's basketball is such a great job of Coach Don Staley and Coach Vanderveer. They want to play each other home and home every year.
That's right.
You get the best matchups in the non-conference to build your resume.
It is. It's so true. And they know that non-conference is kind of like a season in and of itself, and trying to play in like a mini season, and it just makes their group better. They're just competing at a high level, and it's only going to help them as they go into conference play.
The reigning national champs, South Carolina, flexed their muscle today. A comeback win on the road at Stanford.
So impressive.
And Stanford's the reigning champs before they took home the title last year. Think about the net rankings. Those two at NC State, 1, 2, and 3 to end the year. So those are elite programs right here in the Carolinas.
And the ACC as well just has a lot of other heavy hitters. Louisville's a big question mark as well in there.
Tara Chambers hits the nice bunny. Especially now with the women's basketball game having that first 4 round. You win your tournament as a lower conference or a lower seed. You get in, you play a play-in round, you take on the big girls in that 1-16 matchup.
And it's just given more opportunities for people to get into the tournament as well and compete.
Think about the Big South last year. Longwood, the champions, they go to Raleigh, beat Mount St. Mary's, and then play NC State. You're not going to beat NC State.
That's right.
But you get that winnable game early. That's what Charleston Southern would love to do in the Big South this year. Nice steal in transition here. Goes Albin. Boy, she's electric. 9 points.
Great job, Albin. Getting out in transition, finishing at the rim. They're within 15.
Good find by Johnson. Oh my gosh. Offensive board. Chambers puts it in.
Again, another small missed opportunity finish from Mosley, but Chambers with the cleanup.
Is there something you can do as a coach during a timeout to shake it off? Like, hey, make your layups? Like, how do you fix it?
Yeah, you just tell them to say next play, next play, next play.
Leads to an open triple. Who needs the shoelaces when you can pop a 3?
That's big time.
I don't know if Andrews tied her laces, but she did hit the triple. Yep, her shoes are still loose. Oh my gosh. Okay, tuck the lace in, play some help side defense, and a foul here.
Now she's got the time to do her shoes.
Kennedy Jackson commits the foul.
Like, well, they're not going to stop for me. Oh, man.
The awareness, though. Hey, I have 4 seconds to tie my shoes, and I got to get back on defense.
What's more important? Getting back on defense. Way more important.
Don't ask shoeless Joe Jackson that. Second free throw for Morgan Mosley. National Signing Day this week. Both programs, ECU having a great class. We see Jayla Herp coming in this year, but even more talent in 23. Good block by Chambers.
Great defense.
Whoa. Wait a second. I think that was a double dribble, but
No
play
doubt.
continues. Leads to a layup on the other end.
She got away with that one.
Almost too fast to figure it out for the officials. And this lead is ballooned to 18 points. Guess what? A turnover, 23 tonight. Up to 22, the player who puts it in. McNeil's been so quick in transition.
Danae McNeil so long and athletic. Now with 16.
It must be frustrating for Charleston Southern. You take away the 26 transition points, their defense has been really good.
Correct.
Now, you can't just throw away 26 points like it's nothing, but half court defensively, they've been locked in.
They have. And that definitely will be a takeaway point that Clarice and her team can continue to improve on and get better as they move into Big South play and continue in their non-conference.
Open three-pointer Rose. Oh boy, front of the rim. This is the Phoenix Suns of 2000. 7 seconds or less. A lot of shots, quick basketball, a lot of kick balls. There's Sania Johnson. Whoa, threw up a prayer. Whoa! Almost bounced. Hold your breath, folks. Back and forth we go. Chambers got it, and a much-needed timeout. Wow, how about that? We'll take the media. Let's hope things get a little cleaner when we come back. ECU, though, taking advantage in transition, up 20. East Carolina defensively, some lofty goals in the first 4 games of the year. 28 turnovers. Well, they've almost matched that so far with 23. Points off of those turnovers has really checked that box tonight. 15 steals a game. Well, they have 17, and clearly Kim McNeil's defense is causing havoc.
She does so well with that, and it's been a big identity for them in the last few years. And as she joked, she kind of going into the last few games, really her 3/4 court pressure hadn't even really been in the practice plan, but it's just been kind of a natural thing for them, and she goes back to it. They're doing so well tonight. They forced 23 turnovers, and what's more important is points off turnovers, 26 points. And again, a lot of missed opportunities still at the rim too, so that number could have been over 40 as well.
A 6-0 run led to the first media timeout. This 3-1 start, the best opening to the year for ECU in 4 years. And that's offensive. Take us to another media timeout. When we come back, the final minutes of this third quarter. East Carolina maintains a 20-point lead. 1 week into the college basketball season, and the American Athletic has some big notes early on. USF, the preseason favorites, dominant with a double-digit point score every night. Carla Brito also joining the party, and a pretty good non-conference record, some quality wins, including UCF, that has started 3-1, and their defense remains the best in the country.
They really are, and they're always so tough as well. And again, going to South Florida, they had a great big win today over TCU. And again, this conference is going to be very competitive, especially with ECU trying to fight to get to that middle of the pack.
Tulane, much improved. SMU has a chance to be really good, and I think ECU is going to finish better than what those preseason rankings say. So a lot of balance in this conference. Then the reigning chance, UCF, new head coach, Satia Messer.
That's right.
Who comes over from LSU with Coach Kim Mulkey. So a lot of potential for this league.
And Kim McNeil just excited about her program, trying to push, see if they can get to the middle, to that top third of the conference.
After an 11-18 season, much better start here in 22. Been a low-scoring third quarter. Offensive foul. So Jackson gets the charge.
Great job from Mosley going from help side. She is so good at taking the charge, so unselfish. That starts with your head and your heart. Getting over there, taking that charge, she does that so well.
Is that like thinking with your head or thinking with your heart to take the charge?
All of it.
As the three comes up strong, offensive board for Smith. And a turnover. Bobby bounced it away. I love the playmaking ability of Carly Andrews for Charleston Southern. When her shoelaces are on, she's really good. And draws an armbar foul here on Jayla Herp. That's the challenge for this Buccaneer team. Alicia Faye, starting point guard, transfers out to the ASUN. Last 3 years, the starting point guards have all transferred, so it's a learn by committee effect at that position.
And it's tough, too, to have that as well with a first-time head coach. Last year, obviously, second year. Just getting that position locked into your system is huge.
Clock under 10. Here's Hicks. A Charleston Southern team that had 4 wins all of last year, but they're hanging tough tonight. Drawing another foul. That's on Micah Dennis. Remember, women's college basketball, 5 fouls in a quarter. You get free throws the rest of the way.
East Carolina in their pressure zone defense, trapping the corners. Very active on-ball defense.
Tough look late in the clock for Zaire Hicks. Nice dribbling move, McNeil. Up ahead of Herp, who puts it home.
Herp with the big finish, 3-on-2. Must get a bucket or foul. She gets 2.
Jayla Herp, a top 5 recruit in the state of Virginia. She's showing you why with that play. Now here come the Pirates. Oh, look, bodies on the floor. Adamson forced the turnover. Now Jackson, nice block. Morgan Mosley says not so fast.
Mosley very patient, eager, and a clean block.
And animated after the block,
That's right.
South Carolina led the country in blocks last year. Leah Boston had 100 blocks herself.
I believe it.
Kate McNeil's team loves to force turnovers like that. They've had 26 points. More points off of turnovers than Charleston Southern has scored. That turnover margin so important to what Kim McNeil wants to accomplish. Great pass. Mosley forced it in there and it bounced home.
That's good half-court execution there versus a zone, but still they were able to set up their half-court offense and get a bucket. Great job for the Pirates.
Look at that big number, 30 points in the paint. It's crazy though, the best layup ECU just made was its hardest shot of the half.
That's right.
The off-balance, tough angle, the bank shot. Whoa, look at this ball pressure. There's a steal for Jackson. Now Albin the other way, dishes it off, and Jackson's there.
Great 2-on-1 execution right there. Drawing the defender, passing it off for 2.
Smart play by the guard,
That's
too,
right.
to fake the shot and then pass it. So we have a reach in on Adamson in the lane. The vision of women's college basketball players from 5 years ago to now has jumped immensely.
It really has. And I think, too, and just the players are growing. The game is getting better and obviously, you know, slowed down a little bit with the quarters now. But it is so fun watching these girls compete at a high level. And again, non-conference play just gets you better as you prepare going into your own conference.
Second free throw for Bobby Smith, a native of Garner, North Carolina. Nice board. Dennis tracks it down. Ooh, contact, a blocking foul. I want to see that one again. A lot of contact with Jackson driving in on Mosley.
Off the bounce, Morgan Mosley. She plays the 4. Right now she's even playing the 5, but she's really a good 3 guard, but she is so aggressive, can go off the bounce. It's a great offensive execution for her to go off the bounce, especially at a mixed match position.
So last year, East Carolina was 343rd in the country in free throw percentage. Something tells me Kim McNeil sent her kids to the line all summer.
I believe it.
It's been a little better today. 82%. That's a winning margin from the free throw line. Nice dump down. And Kaza Allberg out of Sweden draws the foul. She's wearing a different uniform today. Typically wears number 14, but on the road, number 10 is her jersey.
That was a great job by Albin, going off the bounce, kind of creating an opportunity, and found Allberg open in the paint.
So first points of the season for the newly inserted guard, Kaja Allberg. It goes 2 for 2. That's a way to earn some minutes.
It's a great way to start your career. Charleston Southern in their zone.
Clarice Garcia loves to switch up defenses. That was her calling card at her previous stop in Auburn. Now trying to force a turnover, and nearly does. Why has it been so hard for ECU to score tonight?
Well, again, it's that half-court execution that they're going to continue to improve and get better on it. Right now, Charleston Southern is sagging. They're sitting in a zone, and that's what teams are going to do versus East Carolina and make them earn their points.
Late in the clock, a missed 3. And a traveling violation. Not a live ball turnover, but 27 giveaways for Charleston Southern. That matches their last game against George Mason. Clarice Garcia, who was a 3-time All-Big East selection in Villanova. She loves handling the basketball. Point guard by trade. Can't be pleased with that.
You know it hurts her heart every day when she looks at that stat sheet. And you know it's a point of emphasis every day in practice as her team will just continue to get better with more game experience.
Look at that big board for Maya Joyner. 4 seconds thrown out of bounds, and it'll stay here. Maya Joyner is like a kid in the candy shop. You gotta let her go.
That's right.
She wants to pass it like a point guard, dribble it like a forward.
She is so athletic and versatile.
Loose scrum. And 1 second left.
Again, we mentioned earlier that half-court execution. Something Kim McNeil told us this week is detailed screening. She said, our girls are screening air.
We head to the fourth quarter here in Greenville. First matchup in 20 years. We'll have 10 more minutes of it when we come back. The reigning national champions stand alone at #1 in the country, defeating Stanford today in a top 5 matchup. And then UConn defends home turf against NC State. Great competition early to start the women's basketball season.
It really is such fun basketball happening. Louisville grinded out a tough one the other night versus Belmont as well. So again, this top 10 NC State, you've been seeing them play already. And again, women's basketball is exciting days ahead, but I love this non-conference play as they're playing some high-level basketball and just competing some tough teams.
I love, too, that the great coaches, Gino Ormiema, Don Staley, Tara Vanderveer, great coaching leading to great programs. There's a 3 for East Carolina. The ACC has 4 teams in the top 15. Great conference this year overall.
Yes.
And even the AAC sends 2 to the tournament for the first time ever last year.
Yes.
With South Florida and Central Florida making it. Really shows you the growth of the game, women's basketball.
USF has always been tough and had great players. We'll see how Central Florida does this year with a new head coach.
Matchup of the Big South and the AAC. Good block for East Carolina. Herp throws it ahead and just lobbed out of bounds. I know as coaches you say you love to dial back that aggression and playing at full speed, but you do have to balance that too on some of these plays.
You really do. I see right there a great block from my. Yeah, it's so difficult. You've just got to, there's such a transition team, right? So it's just kind of slowing it down, making sure you get the best spot. But the other thing too is running your lanes. And Kim McNeil talked to us about that this week, is running wide. One person runs to the rim, everyone else run your lanes and have spacing in transition.
That defense has been sharp. 27 forced turnovers to only 27 points. A little bit short that time. How does that defense cause problems? Because when they're not getting the turnover, they're certainly in the mind of Charleston Southern.
Yeah, it's helter-skelter. So it is, the hands are in the face. They're kind of up your nose, if you will. And then they're in the passing lane. they're denying the next pass, and then they're trapping in the ball side corner. So it's a tough. That matchup zone is no joke. It's very difficult to beat.
Chambers can't hit the lay-in. Let's see if Charleston Southern can run. There's a turnover, 28. Here's Dennis. Whoa, that bounced out. Back the other way, a block. Whoa, but Joyner lost track of the ball. And that is a freshman moment for the talented Amaya Joyner.
Waited patiently for that big block.
Oh wait, I gotta get the ball.
Block party.
Nice awareness too, going into the seats.
Into the second.
Making some friends. Remember when Shaq would always dive into the seats and then grab food from the people next to him?
So fun.
Open three-pointer. Barely gets the backboard, so the clock does not reset. Now another three, a little bit closer, but no good. 4 of 19 tonight from deep. Ooh, open player. She's found, and there's the lay-in for Kimora Jenkins.
Great execution in transition right there. Pass ahead. Easy layup for Jenkins.
It was great vision, too, by the Pirates.
Yes.
12 assists tonight. Their best offense has been transition. That's where they've really taken advantage.
It really is, and that's a strength for them, is scoring quickly from their defense.
Whoa. My Joyner, hold on to it here. Dennis Knight outlet. Wow. I don't know if they're stick 'em on the court or what, but there are bodies going everywhere tonight.
There is.
That controlled aggression. I know it's 4 or 5 games in, but as a coach, you have to sit there and just kind of, with like a stress ball in your hands, and manage this as these players are flying around and everything's happening, and you're trying to keep them loose, but also structured.
Yes. Yeah, and I think what's hard too is they're still working through kinks, right? We're only a few weeks into this basketball season. We're trying to really kind of iron out the wrinkles, if you will, but the will is there, the hunger is there, the eager is there, but it's getting them to settle in and to trust the offense is what's going to take this team from good to great.
And the schedule certainly gets tougher. Liberty, Virginia, George Mason, VCU, the next 4 games. So plenty of bigger opponents coming up.
And that'll be a great test for them as well, as they're going to see a little bit more teams who can handle the pressure. And East Carolina will be able to put some of their half-court execution on display, and as they did versus Wake Forest about a week and a half ago, and to continue to get better and fine-tune in this non-conference.
More pressure there, knocking it out. These aren't even turnovers, but it just works the clock. It really makes an opponent have to stress to get the ball in the bucket. And yet it's a 30-point game, and they're playing like it's a 1-point game.
That's right.
Okay, so established in the backcourt. The clock did reset to 20.
Great ball movement.
Big board for Tierra Chambers. There were bodies down for each team, and no one even touched the other player.
That's right.
As it goes out of bounds.
Good pull up from Jenkins, just couldn't get it to fall.
Good to see Zaire Hicks back up. That knee has been a problem for her the last 2 years. Every pass contested. One thing Kim McNeil, when she watches this tape, will have to enjoy. Her team is pressuring the ball.
Whew, yes, they are. Getting in the passing lane, using their feet, using their hands.
A foul underneath. Maya Joyner call for the reach in. Best start for ECU since 2018. That was a 5-0 start. That team had a winning record. And a near miss from three. Been a slow second half. 1 of 10 from deep for Charleston Southern. Good block though. And here's Albin. Still moving. Goes to the free throw line. I couldn't be a college basketball coach. This pace of play from these two teams is giving me a heart attack. It is so quick, such a flurry. It's led to some nice fast break points, but it's hard to corral if you're a coach.
It has a little helter-skelter. And again, both of these programs are just trying to deal with the ebb and flow that the defense has given it, but you got to give it to Albin. She's done a great job for her team today, staying composed and contributing. She's got 10 points, Evan.
Third double-figure scoring game for Albin. It's a big presence. True freshman, one of 6 new freshmen for Coach Garcia. This is her second full recruiting class. Coming in during COVID, so a hard transition as a coach. Open three. Offensive board, Joyner's there.
It's a great backside rebound from Joyner, getting her going. It's going to be huge, especially as they're going into American Athletic Conference play. Bigger post players, her presence will be needed.
Charleston Southern just committed its 29th turnover. It's a new season high for the Buccaneers. These teams are playing hard, though. I'll tell you what, 5 minutes left, and what has become a blowout all of a sudden. Joyner zips it in the lane. Point blank miss.
Great penetrating kick, just couldn't get it to fall.
Nice passing. Someone's got to
Great
take the
extra
shot
pass.
here. Find Albin and an offensive board.
Again, East Carolina in their matchup zone, not putting too much pressure right now, kind of making Charleston Southern penetrate kick.
Adamson got the front of the rim. We talked about some of the top 10 matchups today. Who's impressed you most in college basketball this year on the women's side?
Oh, man. I mean, you always got to look at UConn, obviously, and
no Paige Beckers, no problem today.
Exactly. And I think that's what was so interesting too, with Paige being out, and obviously with an ACL injury. Next man up, and that's what has happened for that team. We'll talk plenty of college basketball when we come back. Final 4 minutes when we return from Greenville. ECU is rolling here at home. One, two, three, four.
Here's your game summary. ECU and Charleston Southern. East Carolina spread the ball around really well today.
Done a great job being aggressive, had a lot of points in the paint. Evan, 28 points from turnovers, 36 points in the paint. On the other end of the floor, Auburn has been so solid for the Buccaneers.
Too much size, though, for ECU, just working the ball in post to Chambers.
Chambers need to get her going a little bit more. As you can see, Danae McNeil, 17, Auburn 11. Look at those bench points for Charleston Southern, but again, they have forced 29 turnovers.
And only given up 29 points. That's hard to do in a 40-minute game. There's an open three. And the bench points will hold steady for the moment. Whoop. And she can't do that. And Kim McNeil says, oh, it's okay. We're going to keep working through it. You know, early in the season, looking for a 4-1 start. The results have started to come.
She was talking the other night about body language on the team. And against Wake Forest the other week, they were down 2 at one point, and the body language was down and looked like they were defeated by 30. So, again, that's a small detail, something she's trying to breathe and encourage her group with and just make it fun being out there.
That really showed up in a Wake Forest game where the team was only down a few points, and she said it felt like we were down 20
That's
or
right.
30 just by how we emotionally responded to it. That's a shot clock violation.
It is. It's a small thing, but body language is so contagious, and it really can just spread amongst your team, and that's why she's encouraging Rose and Micah Dennis to really take lead on that and to set the tone for her team.
Rose drives in. That's a nice pass. Oh, my gosh. So close. Watching the film might be fun tomorrow if you're an ECU coaching to really harp on your players as Rose hits the jumper.
They will clip all missed layups. Oh, the joy of film sessions.
And run it back 6 times in every different angle.
Pause it right there. It's fun. That's how you grow. It's how you get better.
Nice steal by Rose, who then hangs on to it. You see Chambers on the bench say, hey, let's just hold it on for a second. Let's
settle
not
in,
give
settle
it away.
in.
Two minutes to go. Second ever meeting, the Buccaneers and the Pirates. This is a nautical swashbuckling battle, if I've ever seen one. Catherine Albin's been fun to watch. She returns, 9-point-a-game scorer, and she's been the lone bright spot for Charleston Southern. 11 tonight, also with 7 rebounds.
It's always a great thing, too, when you have a rebounding guard. She had a good amount of rebounds the other night as well. For George Mason, she is active. It's only going to help her moving forward as a great guard.
Starters exit for the moment. Get a look at some young prospects like Jayla Herp for extended minutes. That defense doesn't slow down, though, even under 2 minutes to go. Open three, a bit strong.
Great rebound.
Herp with a great pass to Joyner. Whoop, got it back. Can't hit it. A little volleyball tap. That doesn't go. Good chance in transition and a foul here. So that sends Alba to the free throw line. Alba Garcia, the true freshman. And here's the young class. Samora Watson comes in. Brittany Franklin, a senior, checks in. Sania Johnson also joins. Alexandria Josephs, a lot of new faces here late. These are my favorite minutes as a coach. See a lot of young players and a lot of experienced players too get a ton of minutes late.
just get an opportunity to get in and execute in that half court and get some game minutes.
Begging for the ball on the post. Good position and a bucket right off the bench for Franklin.
Great job, Franklin, using her size to her advantage. Easy turnaround bucket.
Love to see the bench points for East Carolina late. On its way to a 4-1 start. Deep three, Gittens. And the Buccaneers are 4 of 25 from deep. Little movement here for the Pirates. Watson chucks up a three.
Great hustle and offensive rebound from Jenkins.
And a reach-in foul here on Catherine Albin. So this will wrap it up here in Greenville. A wire-to-wire victory for Kim McNeil's ECU Pirates and a 4-1 start in this opening homestand. Another convincing win for East Carolina.
They did a great job. Obviously defensively forcing a lot of turnovers, but you got to give it to the offensive credit. Danae McNeil with 17 points, and Maya Joyner joined the club back from a couple weeks of being some sick and some injuries as well, but 10 boards. That's a great highlight for the freshman.
4-1. You check a lot of boxes right if you're Kim McNeil early in the year, because let's face it, this wasn't the greatest offensive basketball game out there, but the defense stepped up. They forced nearly 30 turnovers, did a lot of things right defensively.
And they got better, and that's all you can ask for in a non-conference game like today. They did a lot of really good things, and they can improve and they can get better. And this next week, going into Thanksgiving week, they got a great tournament next weekend up in Charlottesville playing my alma mater, Liberty University, and they're going to face some size. They're going to face some more athleticism, so they have a big challenge ahead, and they're going to need many players in double-digit numbers, and I think they can do it.
A ton of fast break points, 24 of them for ECU tonight, getting a lot of things done well. Tell you what, it's fun to watch. For Brittany Hoyt and Evan Budrovich, dominant win for ECU. We're getting Coach McNeil ready to talk about her team's big win today. And perfect. We're going to chat now with Kim McNeil. Okay, Kim, your team forced a ton of turnovers today. That's something you want to do.
Yeah.
When this game's helter-skelter, right, things are moving 1,000 miles an hour, what does it mean for your team to force those mistakes and convert them into buckets?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of what we do. You know, we want our defense to create offense for us. You know, we've been working a lot here the last 2 days of converting more, though. I think we can convert more. We're missing too many layups. We're not making the right kicks. But, you know, it's a process, and we'll continue to get better. But, you know, a win's a win, and I'll take it.
I can see the look on your face, too. So a 4-1 start for this team. You play some good opponents early. How have you thought of these first 5 games so far?
A little bit inconsistent. You know, we're having too many scoring lulls where we're going, 4 and 5 minutes without scoring. We've got to be able to fix that, especially when we're playing against some better teams. So, we definitely defense is our backbone, but we got to get our offense a little bit better in the half court.
And then Danae McNeil continues to shoot the ball well and to have another double-figure scoring game. How positive is it for you to see her step up and fill that scoring void?
That's what we thought we were going to get from her last year. And then obviously she had a tough year with the injury and then had a family member to pass away. So she had a tough year. So for her to come out the way she has the beginning of this year, it's a good thing to see. But I'm also glad to look down and see somebody else in double figures as well.
Nearly 30 turnovers forced, Coach. Way to go. Congrats on the win.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's Kim McNeil's thoughts on the victory. East Carolina dominates 4-1 start in the homestand. There you are, Coach, having a good old time talking defense. And her ECU club victorious tonight. For Brittany Hoyt, I'm Evan Budrovich. Who doesn't need shoelaces? We had plenty of fun here in Greenville. ECU, a 33-point winner. This is a presentation of ESPN. Thanks for joining us tonight for women's college basketball.